virtual platform. The ignited mind of the youth is the most powerful resource on this planet Earth. With these inspiring words of Dr. Abdul Kalam, I wish you all a very good afternoon. And on behalf of DLDAV Model School Shalimar Bagh, extend a hearty welcome on this virtual platform. Friends, we are at the beginning of the golden age of artificial intelligence and IoT, Internet of Things. AI is the most exciting and innovative development in the digital technology. Recent developments have led to inventions that previously lived in the realm of science fiction only. That is a reality today. The future new world belongs to AI and IoT. Are you all ready for this new world? Yes? So, to get you started on your AI journey, the ATL Tinkering Lab of DLDAV Model School Shalimar Bagh proudly presents Advantech, a webinar on computing future with AI and IoT. It's a great privilege to have with us the expertise in these fields as our key speakers. Our first speaker, Shelly Jain, is presently working as a course leader for MSc Artificial Intelligence and is also lecturer computer science at University of South Wales, United Kingdom. She has significant experience of UK and international education sector, including academic boards, validation events, program and curriculum design, and distance learning. She also has experience of working as IT manager. I extend a very warm and cordial welcome to Shelly Jain. We are really proud to have you as the key speaker of the webinar. We are also proud to have with us a budding innovator, our alumnus, Mayank Agarwal, an IoT systems developer. He has excellent problem-solving skills with a burning desire to create an impact in the field of IoT. Mayank Agarwal, we extend a very, very warm welcome to you. Now, I invite the guiding and the inspirational force behind this webinar, our principal, Mrs. Reena Rajpal, to welcome the key speakers and the audience and apprise the audience of the wonderful achievements of the ATL of DLDAV Shalimar Bagh. Ma'am, please.
Thank you, Sonia. So a very warm good afternoon to one and all. I welcome you to this very special program, Advantech, a webinar on computing future with AI and IoT. I'm calling it special because it is going to lead to a tremendous increase of knowledge that is futuristic and exciting. At the onset, I would like to extend a hearty welcome to our two resource persons, Mrs. Shelly Jain, who is a course leader of MSc AI in the University of South Wales, United Kingdom, and our alumni, Mr. Mayank Agarwal, who is an IoT and embedded systems architect. Thank you for being a part of this event. Before we begin this technical session, I would like to talk about our ATL journey from the beginning when we started till today when we are holding this webinar. Born in the year 2017, our ATL is an offspring of Atal Innovation Mission project, which actually is a special venture of Government of India through Niti Aayog. The aim of establishing Atal Tinkering Laboratories has been to nurture neoteric innovators. I want to proudly share that 10,000 schools all over India had participated and applied for the grant, and only 257 schools were selected in the first round after passing through a rigorous 4-round selection procedure. Then began a beautiful journey of learning to work with tools and equipment, and most importantly, ideas. So we at our lab are cultivating and nurturing innovative minds of students of our school and also the neighborhood schools utilizing the concepts of STEM education. In fact, we can very satisfyingly claim that we are now nurturing a new breed of young student innovators who have a I can do it differently attitude. Their curiosity, creativity, and imagination are being given direction and wings to fly. Through the ATL, we can also see the new age skills such as collaboration, problem solving, design mindset, computational thinking, physical computing, rapid calculations, etc., which are getting polished to enable students to meet the demands of the complex future environment. It is heartening to know that our students are becoming capable of finding innovative solutions to community problems and are playing a role in nation building from a very young age. The achievement of the Team ATL speaks for themselves. We participated in the Guinness World Records mega event named the most LED lights lit simultaneously. This was organized at IIT Bombay. It was a huge learning experience for the students. We were thrilled to bits when our team won the first prize in the Rescue Maze competition organized by RoboCup Junior and became the national champions. In the Innovation Marathon conducted by Atal Innovation Mission, Niti Aayog, our ATL projects were selected among the top 200 best entries. Students also sparkle at the individual level. Shubham Goyal of class 10 has been selected for Inspire Award. He is given the idea of an autonomous picker to clean the public places. A simple but a very, very effective and useful idea. All of you will agree that it's so heartwarming to see young children contributing to the Prime Minister's Swachhata Abhiyan. Let me now tell you about another talented child of ours, Garv Chadha of class 8. He won great accolades in the Ideate for India program. He had made an auto showering system with the theme of water conservation, for which he was awarded with a medal, certificate, and a hoodie by none other than the Minister of Science and Technology, Mr. Ravi Shankar. Very recently, the first digital COVID-19 Perfect Health Mela 2020 was organized by Healthcare Foundation of India. It was a national inter-school competition. Our students participated in it and performed live from their homes. Timsi Raj Gupta of class 6 grabbed the first position in COVID innovation competition. You know what she had made? She had made an app, Kaun Bachega Coronavirus Se, to help us understand how to protect ourselves from coronavirus. So you can see that as students get exposure in ATL, they become critical thinkers and problem solvers. Coming back to the team efforts, Team ATL participated in a city-level science fair held at National Science Centre, Delhi in January 2018, for which it received special prizes and certificates. We were also triumphant in the International Robotronics competition and found a place in the top 10 entries for the consecutive second year in consecutive order. Now, these are only the very recent achievements. It is not possible to list all our winning ventures. We keep doing our bit. We are taking baby steps, one at a time. But we are getting there. In the recent past, we organized multiple sessions on developing scientific minds under the guidance of various skilled mentors. So basically, we may have started with a small group, but we are aiming to make each and every student of our school a member of ATL, and most importantly, a creative and critical thinker. I would just like to conclude with this message for all my students. Courage and intelligence lies in the will to be different. So always try to do that. Dare to be different. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your encouraging words. Our students, Shubham and Yagik Goel, have worked passionately to design the website of the ATL. I now invite both of them to present the website before the audience.
Good afternoon, respected Principal Ma'am, honorable speakers, teachers, and my dear friends. In an endeavor to connect the Atal Tinkering Lab of TLDAV Model School Shalmar Bagh with the rest of the world, the Atal team has created a website, and I, Shubham Goel, along with my friend Yagik Goel, is here to share the website with you all. The vision and mission of ATL of our school are inspired by the words of our worthy Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi. Innovation and out-of-box tinkering are the key to realizing the dream of New India. Nai Dishaएं, Nai Nirman, Naya Bharat is our vision statement. Now, I invite Yagik Goel to further share the website. Over to you, Yagik.
Thank you, Shubham, and good afternoon, one and all. Let me first of all take you through the journey of various events of ATL since it was incepted in 2016. The innovative prowess of the students and teachers has brought a plethora of achievements to our ATS. Sharing the achievements. And now, here are the glimpses of the young innovators at their creative best. Now, meet the team behind ATL. Our guiding force, Madam Principal, Mrs. Reena Rajpal. Our teachers, our mentors, and handholders. And these are the budding innovators whose creative endeavors has made the ATL a success story. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our front-end designers, for this impressive website and inspirational presentation. Now I am super excited to call Shelley to take over the session and enlighten us with this buzzword, artificial intelligence. Over to you, Shelley.
Hi everyone. I hope I can be seen and you can. Everything is going live because we are in home and things are working well. Yeah.
Yeah, perfectly fine, Shelley.
You can hear me properly. I just wanted to do some housekeeping before I start. So is it everything working fine?
Yeah, everything is working fine.
Brilliant. Thank you. So I'm just going to start with this is really impressive, the one which I see just now. I can't believe that, I'm so proud and so happy that India is progressing so much. And within the school, children are doing so well. And congratulations to school and whole team. You have done so much hard work in so many years. And guys, you're so lucky, that you are getting that platform. When we were at your age, we didn't get that. And the idea is superb. So here we go. We're going to start the presentation about AI. I just wanted to say one thing before I start. AI seems, these buzzwords seems very heavy sometime, and it seems that, we are going into the innovation and technology, into the different field. But guys, you are having that brain in you that you can start with it. We are just learning in a process, but you are the one who is going to deal with it like a play game. So let's have a look and see what I have got for you. It's a very, very simple, small presentation about AI, just to give you a basic idea from where you can start from. So there we go. So I'm just going to present now. If there is any problem, please let me know about the screen or anything you can't see. So just let me know.
Yeah.
Okay. Hope you can see the screen.
Yes, we can see your screen, Shelly.
Okay, that's great. So I'm just going to start now. So, guys, when we were talking about artificial intelligence, a little bit about myself, I hardly get to speak about myself. So really, I'm, starting there. So, my name is Shaili, and I came from India in 2003. I have finished my master's from India in computer science, and I also got some experience in workplace in software industry within India. So this was from my land, and I came here. And then from 2003 till now, I'm working in this field. Now I'm a course leader in MSc Artificial Intelligence with University of South Wales. Also, I'm doing research towards in this field where I am looking at different house price market and how artificial intelligence can make us more friendly, give us better prediction about the house price market. So research is still going on, and my work is still going on. But this is the field where I really enjoy in my life, and I think we should do what we enjoy. So how it all started, actually, this big things. So he's the father, John McCarthy. He is the person who has presented first time a paper into an academic conference about the subject of artificial intelligence in 1956. And can you imagine, it's that old. So we are talking about this now in 2020, and it started all in 1956. So at that time, it was introduced and people liked the idea, and it was growing, but it wasn't growing as much as it is today. You know why? Because we were not having these fields at that time. So they were not having the data, enough data to talk about. Now you are doing online shopping, you are on chat, you are on Facebook, you are on Snapchat, there is Amazon going on. There is so many online platforms we are working on. So imagine how much data is coming. So these technologies, AI technologies, are data-driven, data theft. They can work better if there is a data out there. So data is the main source of any artificial intelligence or machine learning technologies. At that time in 1956, we didn't have that. Now, how this work with data and why human need that, why this is growing. So I'm just going to touch on to the AI in a nutshell, that what is AI? Giving an analogy with a human being. So let's have a look. We got AI in a nutshell. We are human being. We started with AI residing in computer science field. And we started with computer science, learning with technology. Then we human beings have a capability to speak to each other. We can communicate. If you know English or Hindi or Punjabi, I can speak to you easily because these are my languages and I can speak to you. How computer does that? How computer translate everything? It's a speech recognition technology where computer is AI is enabled to speak and understand anybody's language. And that also reside into this something like called statistical learning. So in statistical way, there is another branch which is speech recognition within the statistical learning. Okay. Then natural language processing, which means that any text you're writing in any language, so about Chinese you're writing and it's producing the result in English. You are doing a higher search about any language or books or a text, how is it doing that for you? That's natural language processing technique, which AI is using. But it is getting better than human being, because you see, I cannot speak in Chinese. It will take me time to understand. But with the help of this technology, I can understand if somebody is speaking in front of me, I can put an app where this is automatically receiving the voice of that person and translating the language which I like for me. And that's NLP technique. So different type of languages we can speak then, and we can interact with different people with these technologies. Human being can see things. For example, you see something today, this morning you get up, you have seen maybe outside from your window some cars. There is some imagination about that. There is some picture in your mind, and that picture is stored in your mind. Okay. What AI does? AI has got a symbolic learning where it sees the pictures, the different symbols, and it's stored in its mind. It's also called computer vision. So we have given a vision to the computer. Now we see multiple cars and we think about it. What was the color of that car? Or was it red? I like the red car. I like the blue car which is gone. These are the different type of patterns we are seeing, but AI does that processing in it, which is called image processing. And it's getting better than us because we can see the color of the car. We might be able to see the make. We might be able to see the number of it, but we cannot see scratches from a distance. If there is a scratch on the car, can we? No. So image processing technique, which can do all that for us. It can also see edges. It can also see the nitty-gritty of that image, which is stored in its vision. So that part is giving us more capabilities in our work. Now let's have a look of the other thing. We can think, we can jump. That's where the robotics is coming. Now we are developing a robot who can serve us, who can do work in home, who can do other things for us. So this is the field mission. So you can see different type of ciphertext. In wars, it used to be used that there used to be a different kind of coding language used to come to know who is a spy on the other side and to share the secrets of one country to another. So that sort of pattern we used to have the experts use their own brain to solve those puzzles. But now we have AI to do the pattern recognition. And these patterns, different type of patterns coming into the share market as well. So you can see all that in picture and in action with AI. And it's showing us better way than what human being does. But they all reside in something called machine learning. So this buzzword, machine learning, is actually having number of branches. So you don't have to just emphasize on one thing. You can be mastering on any of those things. Your research or your work should be based on any of those things. You just don't need to just say that, okay, I need to be expert in AI, because we can't. We have so much space to grow, so much scope in AI. So the master thing which we have is our brain, because our whole body functionality comes with brain. And human being doesn't even use 2% of, we don't even use complete brain. I think it's only 2% of our brain which we use. Okay. So our brain is so capable. But what we did, we give brain to AI, and we have got neural network. Neural network is another technique, another way where we have created some nodes, some neurons, and each node has got an algorithm. And then we are trying to play with those algorithms and trying to ask AI to generate something of its own with its own actions. And that's where we are giving AI a brain to work itself. So think about it, how much the space is growing. So this is the main field of AI, which is having real growth and real work going on into this field at the moment, and which is called deep learning and neural networking. And that all part of machine learning and AI. And apart from that, machine learning has got, and AI has got another branch which is called knowledge-based. A small Hoover development, or a knowledge base which is representing in your cars, telling you about the hot weather and navigation systems. All these are part of knowledge base, which is AI's another branch, and which means that you don't need to be a computer expert or a computer science person to deal with all these things. Anyone from a STEM subject can take initiative and try to progress into this field. Now, how that all thing work, as I said previously, this all is depending on one thing, which is data. So machine learn data with 3 different ways. First is supervised data, unsupervised data, and reinforcement data. I will come to that one in a second, but just have a look on this. Can someone calculate all these numbers? Well, maybe if I give you some time, you can do it quickly. Maybe you are having a super brain. Maybe Shakuntala Devi we have. So, that genius brain is there. We have a calculator as well who can do this. Now, if I give you this picture and ask you identify people in this photo, you will say probably this guy is a guitar teacher. Probably this guy is a father of these children. These are very fascinating things, but we don't know who is he, do we? But if we feed this photo to the system, and if everybody's data is in the system, then AI can tell us who this person is, which we can't. So I am asking this question, that we are making AI that strong, that it can do that vast things for us. Now, in my previous slide, I said there is 3 different types of learning from the data we do. We're going to talk about that. Types of learning we do. Supervised learning. So here, in the supervised learning, we train the machine in our own way. We label every single thing, and within that label, we give some sort of data which is having a label, and it is already targeting some correct answers. So for example, I have put a fruit basket there. You have an apple, and I'm telling to the machine, it's the apple. Apple is always a round shape and having a top, a red color, and it can be green as well. It can be this color as well. It can be having apple red and green as well. So I'm labeling that thing with multiple type of answers. So I'm telling about the apple. Similarly, I'm saying about the shape of banana, that it's a cylindric shape and it's a green yellow color. So I'm labeling that already my data. So when I'm going to show all of that, when I feed all of that to the machine, I'm training a machine to understand these objects. So by the time I do all this labeling, machine will then understand it can differentiate between an apple and a tomato and can tell us, look, this is an apple, and if I produce a tomato in front of us, and it can say it is a tomato because I have given a different type of labeling to the data. That's a supervised learning, which we are actually telling them and then asking them. This type of learning is normally used in some field, like where we are creating an expert system related to some rule-based. So I am telling that there is a weather out there cold, I have to take coat with me. So if there is a cold weather, computer will tell me, take coat with you because it's cold out there. So I have already told computer that with my data that if it is a cold weather, tell me to take a coat. So I am labeling already. That's called supervised learning. The other part is unsupervised learning, where we don't know what to label, but we know that we can categorize things. Instead of responding to feedback, unsupervised learning identifies commonalities in the data. So for example, I have put some cats and dogs images there. So we know they are cats and dogs, and we are just categorize them. These are the dogs and these are the cats. Machine has no idea about the features of dogs and cats, but can recognize if anything comes similar type of dog figure, it can understand it's a dog because I have categorized that. It's not labeled, it's classified into different sections. And that's unsupervised learning, because in this one we are giving different type of categories, symbols. It also comes into the symbolic learning as well, which I have shared into my AI in nutshell slide. And unsupervised learning, you are using normally into the clustering kind of thing. You are getting a different type of geographical spaces. So for example, I have UK, Japan, subcontinents we have, and in Europe there is some countries which is associated with Europe, some countries which is associated with Asia, some country which is associated with Africa. So we have got that some sort of categories divided in terms of different type of the continents. So you can not tell each country, each continent, how many countries are there, but you can tell there is different type of continents. And in that categories, they can define what is there, what they grow, how they live. That sort of thing is called unsupervised kind of learning. And we can then further do lots of analysis on this. Third type of learning is called reinforcement learning. Now, this is the most growing part, and this is the way where artificial intelligence is working. So it's very close to human being. In this one, algorithm learn by action and environment. Okay, so you are not teaching anything, but you are just creating an agent which is learning from the environment. For example, you have started sometime you have start riding a bike, and once you have start riding a bike, you might have fell a few times. Then you start riding it properly. Then you start going to the streets. Then you start going on to the crowded street. And every time you are going to the new place, you are learning how to ride a bike properly. But that thing comes in us naturally. Now, another example, so for example, you have a baby in home, which is 2 months old, and you have a pet dog. How baby will know or differentiate between a dog and a human? But we do it. Baby can do it in 2 months age. How? because we human being learn from the environment, learn from the action. We know that a dog is coming who's having two eyes, two ears, and is having a shape and is loving. So we understand from that age. Similarly, machine learns it. Now, if your friend also bring their pet dog, the baby in your house will understand that the dog which you bring in, your friends bring in, is also a similar kind of object who is friendly. So it's learning by actions. Similarly, in machines, we teach, we show them some environment, we give them some environment, and we ask it to act. And when it's act, it learns. Sometimes it learns, sometimes it doesn't learn anything. So every time we give action, it's growing. And slowly, we don't even have to give action. It grows itself. And that's the reinforcement learning which we are doing with machine learning. I have put a very good link here, and I'm going to share this link with team. And you can then go into this and read a lot about reinforcement learning from here. Now, moving towards machine learning algorithms. So with unsupervised and supervised type of learning, the algorithms which is already in place, and they are very easy to learn. There is two type of data they take, continuous and categorical data. And in the continuous data, unsupervised learning is using clustering, CVD, PCA, K-means clustering. These are all different type of algorithms, which means that these algorithms has got special libraries in our programming languages, and then they give us some sort of special functionality to work with the machines. So if we are using K-means, it gives us cluster analysis. Supervised regression modeling, linear or polynomial or decision tree, is somewhere where we are doing rule-based learning. And this is all built into the algorithm, which is already built. You don't need to build these algorithms again, but you can use them in your work. Okay, so I am going to touch on something today. But before that, I wanted to tell you a little bit more about the programming languages. So we have got few famous programming languages which is working towards data science field. R is more statistical kind of language, and MATLAB is mostly used into the engineering work or more technical action type of work. Python is the most used data science language at the moment because it has got so many inbuilt libraries, inbuilt packages, inbuilt module. I don't know whether you have worked with a programming language before, but looking at the Tkinter lab work, I think you have. And I wanted to give you a snapshot of what sort of packages which is available in Python, so that they are the basic packages where you can start working on it. So the packages which we have is NumPy. Is it the slide moving? Sorry, guys, just stopping in between.
Yeah, we can see packages in Python.
Okay, that's great. So there is a NumPy, which is a third-party package. And when I say the packages, which means that these are the inbuilt packages in Python, all you need to do, you need to import them. So import NumPy, a third-party package, is allowing us to work with multi-dimension arrays, because in every single data we have got arrays. If it is an image type data, we have pixels that can convert it into arrays. And if it is a normal data, then we have got arrays as well. And what it does is it work with multi-dimension arrays, and that's why it can we can feed large chunk of information to it, and it can manipulate that, and it can give us answers, which we cannot do ourselves. And that's why NumPy is strong. Panda is another package which is enhancement of NumPy, even further, allows to tabular our data, and also we can see into the form of rows and column. And that's why Panda is useful. Now, Panda has got another functionality. So every time you receive a data, I said this, every single thing is data driven. Now, data is not sometimes not accurate, and it has got something missing in it. The Panda has got this functionality and tools that where it can also work around with various data formats and some sort of missing data as well. So we can actually go into the result with Panda. Third is SciPyLearn, is another most useful machine learning package which is used in stats and technologies. So if you are working towards maths functionality a lot, then stats and sci-fi is one of the package which you can use. Matplotlib is such an interesting package, and I would recommend that you should use it to see the things into visualization on the pie sides of Matplotlib. It can give you the graph, and you can then adjust the graph with the help of Matplotlib. You can also link the graph, and you can see everything in action basically with Matplotlib. Seaborn is another visualization library which also give a better interface with Matplotlib into the statistical side of a graph. So your drawing became more attractive with Seaborn. So these packages are the backbone of Python packages and the machine unsupervised and supervised learning. These are the things which I would say you should start if you are starting your journey in this. Learn these packages and start to play around with these packages. I have also included some link how you can learn Python. If you haven't learned Python before, these are the free places where you can learn, you can download, and you can also do some sort of statistical learning, AI type of data science learning with these free open sources. All I said is practice, 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 and practice will make you perfect. So if you go there, you try and you learn, it's all practice. Don't think that is a part of your curriculum at this day and age. This is the things which you can do in your playtime. So you think it as a challenge, as a game, and then you can do it. So you will enjoy it. It's a wider concept, and if I touch every single thing, we will be sitting here for months. So what we need is, I have to look for something which is interesting and which can be concept which you can take it with you. So I'm looking at the technique of image processing. Very simple, and it has got a wider scope as well to grow further and further into the image processing. So we are touching onto the basic concept, and some prerequisites is you should have understanding of Python. So that's why in my previous slide I have given you places from where you can learn Python in terms of data science. Okay, once you got that, then you can work on these technologies and start with image processing because it's wonderful. Okay, so look at the image which I have put. It's a normal vision and a blurred vision, and this type of things we can do easily with our cameras. Why we need the processing? So with the use of image processing, this is the machine learning feature of extraction. This is a technique to determine the most important portion of the image. This process is also called convolution neural network. Okay, you will say, I can do it with my camera. Why I need this? So let's have a look why we need this. Application of image processing. Image processing has got application which is widely used into different type of market. Medicine. So medical, you would do MRI, X-ray scans. You also detect the any disease, and you also then further look at how you can, you know, early stage diagnostic of that disease. So, for example, cancer, tumor, how you can early diagnose that somebody is having that with these image processing technique. That is happening in medicine because you have got image and you can look, extract it into a better way, which a human being cannot do. Then in military also, we are using object detection onto different places where we have to fight, where is the source, where we have to, where is the place where our enemies are sitting. So all these object detections things can be done with image processing as well. And security, we are using unnamed vehicle, you have got crime, you have got CCTVs from where the images are coming, and you are doing detection from there that what sort of things what was the scene like, what happened at that place. And this is all over. You see these days in media that CCTV camera gives some image and you find out something. How do you do that? And that's all is done by image processing techniques. And security, you have got biometrics, you facial recognitions. This is all common these days in banking sector or into the process of visas, and even in the consumer marketing. So you can see that these things are common, and this is all the part of image processing and where the image processing applications are working. So that's why they are important. So to understand image processing, we need to understand what is an image. What is an image? Image, simple definition, is image is a discrete representation of data which is having both things, layout and its color. So there is a layout of an image and there is lots of color inside it. That is the image. What we are looking at it in terms of data science, we are looking these two things as a data, its layout and its color. What is a digital image? So digital image, which you click from your camera, a digital image is a representation of two-dimensional image, infinite numbers of points. In each image, there is a pixels. So the size of 2D pixel grid together with the data size stored for each individual image pixel determine the spatial resolution and color quantization of the image. Now, this is a very heavy language. So for normal terms, a human eye can see 44 pixels of an image, whereas a computer can see 256 pixels of an image. So each pixel has got a color inside. So sometime if we elaborate a screen, you have seen that when you are trying to focus on one part of a pixel, it loses its color. It goes into a different blurry side of color because the pixel size is increasing. And that's where I'm saying that it's a digital pixel type of two-dimensional image. Image is having colors. It's two colors, black and white, which is black is 0 and white is 1. Gray scale, which is run between 0 to 1. And RGB colors, red, green, blue. And there are other colors as well, which is used in a higher terminology. And we use them as a digital image pixel recognition. So for now, we will be concentrating onto these three parts, red, green, and blue. We have the pixels, and this is our color palette. Now, this is the image. What is the format of these image? These images stored in some sort of format, like type. What is the type of the image? So we have got GIF type of image. It's a 8-bit image and it's limited. It's called graphical interchange format. And it's 256 color. We mostly use GIF type of images. JPEG is also very common. Is compression is loosey, and its name is Joint Photographic Expert Group. which has designed JPEG. PNG designed to replace GIF, and because it has got some portability as well. So it's lossless compressions, because if they can be compressed easily, these images are more flexible then. TIFF is one of the most flexible and adaptable kind of image format, and that's also used widely into the image processing technique. BMP is bitmap picture, which is basic format and lossless compression. So it's difficult in bitmap to use the compression. So these type of image formats we have, and now we need to know what sort of data, image data type. So black and white, which is binary number 0 and 1, intensity gray, floating images, RGB colors, and we have got HSL colors, hue, saturation, lightness, hue, saturation, and value. These type of colors we have within the image. So as I was saying about the image, so image, then there is a pixels, then we have talked about the format and what is the type of image. Now these are the basic things about the image. If you want to know more about the image processing, there is a 3 different type of Python library which works with image processing. It's a pill function, which is used in image processing with Python, OpenCV, and NumPy with arrays. I have put some links where you can know more about NumPy. NumPy is also used widely. I'm going to show you a simple example how you can upload a NumPy image with these libraries. So computer process into a human readable image. So for example, you received a mail where somebody has write something with the hands about addresses. So you have received thousands post mails where somebody has write the address with the hands, and you are clicking those addresses with your camera, and all these addresses became an image then. And these images then became pixels, and in those pixel size, you can easily process then what is happening with each addresses, from where these addresses coming. This is a simple example, but now look at this. I have just used IDE, which is Jupyter Notebook, and in this one, we are looking at how to get the image onto our notebook, first of all. So we have import NumPy as NP, and then we have done the matplotlib, the library which is associated with graphs and images. I have also plotted in a graph with the percentage so that it can comes in line. Then I have got pill function, which I have used, and then this is the location of my image where it is stored into my system. Okay. So in my computer system, wherever the image is stored, I have given the path of it, location of it. So this is the 4th step you follow, and your computer will display the image you want. Okay. I've put a dog image there. And it's so simple to get an image from a paper to the computer on a programming way. Then now I'm going to play with this image, with the image processing technique. I want to find out what type of picture is this format. So we were talking about the format of the picture. It's a JPEG type of picture, and it have arrays. So I wanted to know how many arrays there in the shape of the pictures. So in this picture, there is 1353 arrays. In this section, we are now trying to look at the type of the pictures, its shape, its size, and then we plot the image into the axis. So now we are going to put this image into the graph so we can play with this image. We can see the integrated part of the image. So what I do now, then I convert this image into a red color, and I have again I played with the color, as I said, RGB color palette. So what I did, I remove the contribution of green and blue and only give the contribution of red. And now the image is showing into the axis. It is a red color image, and it's having, we can also then convert this image into grayscale as well. With the red color, then you can see the depth of the image. So you can see from more, the brightness, and you can see this depends that what you want from your image. So you can play with it. You can change the color, you can add color, you can make it black and white, and that sort of thing you can do with NumPy. And you can also do the similar thing with OpenCV. OpenCV has got some advanced functionality to define a picture. There is a 3 level of image processing. Low level, which is our images coming with some noises. Then images having a extraction of attributes such as edge sharpening of an image. Image have got high level analysis and interpretation of the image. So image processing then goes into the 3 different type of things, that either we are making the image better, then we are sharpening its edges to understand more about the image, and then we wanted to get some interpretation of the image. So I am touching the low level and mid level here so that you can understand it, and then I'll give you a way where you can understand more about and read about high level type of image processing. So image processing, operation filters have got a few examples. So for example, this image is before this is having so many noises. So which means that you can see in computing term, we call this noises because there is so many things in around the image we can see, but we can't see our flower properly. So these noises we need to remove. And once we remove these noises, our flower, the main image, can be seen properly. Now imagine I have put only a flower. But think if it is an image where somebody, maybe a crime scene where police want you to find out what is the actual look, how this noise reduction is helpful. Greatly, isn't it? So have a look onto the other part. Image processing, operation filters in the noise removal, having these type of 3 different type of filters which we use: spackle noise, Gaussian noise, and salt and pepper noise. So this is the 3 different type of filters which you can use into the process of noise removal. Then you have got image processing filter and scope. It's sharpness of the image. So you wanted to see the outline of the image. It is opposite to blurring. There we can increase the edge content of a image, and we can see the number of operations that can be used into to sharp the image. So there is image where we are giving the outline basically of the image to find out the sharpness of its edges. Again, this is the scope which we are discussing into the image processing. But where the scope is used, you can think and you can imagine that the number of places this can be used. And it is in the... Now, filter blurring. So this is the blurred image, and this is the real image. So filters, when we use the filter into the image and to blur to normal image. These filters are available in our cameras these days and in our phone functionality as well, but not that high quality. And think about it, we are doing it one image. I'm talking about millions and gazillions of images together. So I am just giving an example of one image. But when you have got so many images together and you have to work on that many images, how you can do that? So this is the way, that's why AI and the technology is there. Edge extractions, which we were talking, image processing has got some edge extraction features. And this one is completely colored removal, make it black and white, and just looking at the edges, because we probably wanted to find out a disease in somebody's body part. There is a tumor developing, and we wanted to see with the edges, where is it developing, which nerve is touching. So think about that how fast and how vast this is. Yeah. So that's the another operation filters which we can use. Now I have shown you that in action these operation filters. We have used the algorithm which is called Canny Edge algorithm, and this is used in image processing. There's so many different type of algorithm I have tried with Canny Edge. In the Canny Edge, I have used OpenCV library, NumPy as well, Matplotlib, and again Matplotlib inline so that I can see it in Access. I have get the image with this path and plot the image, and in that image, I have just plotted the image in here by using OpenCV library. Previously, we used NumPy. In this one, Canny Edge detection algorithm is giving me edges where I'm doing what I'm doing is I'm using the threshold of an image and I am playing with that threshold. That Canny Edge algorithm is designed by Gaussian convolutions. This is a you can read about this with this link. This is the algorithm which gives us the capabilities to play with the image edges by changing its threshold. So we have changed its edges and changing into the thresholds. 127 to 127, the images look like this. But then I wanted to see more depth, and then I changed the threshold here. And I made the threshold 0 to 255. And now the image axis is look like this. It's very puzzled now. So I wanted to see a better image. I show that. I clearly understand that giving this threshold, this image is actually not showing me what I want to, probably, or giving me more noises in it. So what I'm going to do, I am just going to blur the image, and I am going to give the lower threshold and upper threshold both try together with the Canny, and then show it edges. Now here I can see better edges, and then I can also get how much it's lowered, how much is upper. So sometimes it's good to blur the image first, so you don't have to pick minor edges. Sometimes it's something which you can play around and you can find out. It is the job of an AI expert into the image processing, that to find out how these things can be helpful for us as a human being into different sectors. I hope you find it interesting. You can play around with the threshold to get the more accurate results. As much as you play, as much as you get better the results. So I have put this link here, and I'm going to, of course, share this with Tkinter Lab. Once you will play with this, you can play more. This link, in this link, you can see the platform they have given, where you can just click buttons and you can play with the images. So you don't have to do all functionality, but to get the more understanding of blurriness, edge detections, noise removal, what happened in action. So that is something, a very visual platform for you to have a look and play around. You wanted to grow into this field of AI. There is a different ways to grow into the field of AI. And there is so many other platform which is available. Because I work in this field and I'm a course leader of MSC's AI, I wanted to show you that there is a scope and there is a way you can do a BSc in AI, and where you can learn from the beginning the concepts of how this AI is used, and from each level they are telling you that the how it's developed one by one. So you are not you can come with any sort of capabilities and you can start with it. So there is no type of acquisition in the back that you have to have that mathematical side or you have to have a computational side. Any background can start this. So this is something which I think if you have an interest into the field of AI, this is something to look at. Then you can look at also further growing. If you are already a graduate and you have graduated from some other discipline and you're not enjoying it, you can also come back and you can also focus on MSc AI, because MScs also start from the very beginning, and they within a year they give you a expert knowledge about these available algorithms, and at the end you will be doing your own project with some associations with the employers. So these are the offerings which is done by University of South Wales. They are offering these qualifications. Job industry in AI market, higher job industries, because this data I have taken, this image is from the data science, and I have just taken it like about a week back, and you can see it's 2020, this still growing the way 2020 is growing, but the market of data science is growing. So there is a scope, there is a future in this field. I have also put some sort of referencing there from where you can learn more about it. And there are a few resources here where you can understand more about it. But if there is any questions, I'm happy to take that. And thank you so much for watching me. I hope you enjoyed.
That's very true, Shelly. I can see the live chat, and there are n number of thumbs up for your
Oh,
session
that's brilliant.
and wonderful messages for Shelly.
Oh, thank you. Thanks a lot. I'm glad that students enjoy it. Yes, I can see there is a question in the chat.
Yeah, we will be coming to questions, Shelly. You have explained the concept of AI. AI is basically a complex subject matter, but
Yes.
you have discussed it in a simpler way that many questions are coming into our mind, right?
Right.
I am teaching computer science from last 25 years, but still I feel it is a very complex subject matter, and from the student's point of view also, right? But if we look at your slides, and yes, we can say, like this is not the first time the world has been fascinated with the idea of artificial intelligence. Rather, it was a topic of talk several years ago. And it was saying that computers can learn, can see, communicate, and think like us. Since then, AI is like constantly changing its definition. And looking at the
Yes.
concept of image processing, which you have explained in a very excellent manner, and see, we are already using its applications. With the concept of image processing and its application is already we are using, such as Google Photos, which
Right.
allow us to label an image. And
Yes.
that labeling can help us to further search the image for one particular person.
Yeah.
And we are building a huge database of images. And
Yes.
everywhere, security cameras, especially Nest Cam, which is very famous, working on the same technology, right?
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Yes.
And it seems everything is perfect. Technology is advancing with rocket speed. But a
You're
security
right.
camera, but a security camera which is installed near a swimming pool can raise an alert when a child is drowning. Like
Yes.
we are gathering the images, any kind of action can be happen once something wrong is there. That wrong incident happened there, only action can be taken place. But the point is, when we have such a bulk database of images, then at that
Yes.
particular moment, action can be taken.
Yes, that's what it is. Is image processing is, this is what I show as a the glimpse of how it works really. But think about it, that if you are looking for example, you are looking for some disease in plants. So if I have got, I like to grow roses. So I have got so many roses outside in my house, and when I see that there is some sort of disease coming into the roses. So for example, if I wanted to see red roses, green roses, yellow and white roses and purple roses, they have they are developing some sort of different colors in their leaves or in their natural flower. So what I will do, I will just click those images in bulks, and then I try to find out, or maybe take it to the expert, that look, this is the problem and I have done the detection on it. Can you tell me what is the problem in this? So an expert, which is a doctor, can tell me that, look, this is the problem because they sometimes cannot see things with the naked eyes, but with the image processing techniques they can see all the blurriness, all the noises within the image. If they can remove it, they can then look at that particular element with the pixel and see in detail what is happening, whereas we can't do it in our normal forms. What is it? So it's just an example that I have shown, but you can actually do number of things when there is a data available for bulk, millions of data available, and you want to find out something, what is happening is a prediction. You can do it with image processing technique where you can go high level. So yeah, you're absolutely right. These technologies are growing so fast, and as AI is changing its term every day, it's difficult for us to state one thing that this is AI. But I try to sum up with some ideas so that students can gather a notion that how we are related to AI as a human being.
Great explanation, Shelly. And
Thank you.
Now it's time to take up some questions. And as we can see, messages are coming in the chat window, and they are curious to know something more on AI. And okay, I will start with our youngest innovator in the list, and that is our Timsi. She is a class 6 student, and she is the one who has developed mobile app.
Right.
Coronavirus. Recently, she completed this project, and she has one question. Okay, Timsi?
Ma'am, can artificial intelligence be dangerous for mankind?
Wow.
Okay, so that's a wonderful thing, and well done, Timsi. You are already working into this field. In your age, I even didn't know what is AI. So you are way ahead than us. So yes, you know what? Every single action has got its results. Okay, so if you lie to your parents, you know what will happen? Yeah, you will get punished. Okay. Similarly with AI, if every single thing which we are doing, yes, it can be dangerous up to an extent. That's why ethics came in picture. So AI hasn't got the conscious in it. Doesn't know what is good and what is bad. We are feeding it. This is good and bad. Okay. So think, and we don't want to develop that consciousness. So for example, if I develop a consciousness in AI, and I am sitting in my car, an automatic car, and my car say, I just want a day off. Sorry, I'm not driving today. Think about it. So that can be dangerous for me because my car is refusing to go. So that's a conscious. If the conscious is developed in AI, that's the one thing. Second thing is, I said AI is learning with reinforcement, with action. So there is so many actions which we are putting on social media. For example, you are very little, but you must be using some sort of social media platform to interact with other people. How many pictures you post there? How many comments you put it there? Somebody is reading that comment because it's learning from the environment, and that is AI. Okay, it's learning about you, not about you, but in general, it's learning about so many people. And when it's learning so much and developing within its own environment, so we don't know what it will develop in next 10 years. So what we are feeding is our responsibility. So these are the actions which is ours. What we are putting onto these social media platforms is our responsibility. Okay, and the AI is learning. What it will do after learning all that, we don't know. So this can be dangerous if we don't act properly. That's why there is an ethics which comes in development of AI app development. For example, you are developing an app, but that needs to be approved by the ethic committee of AI, because that makes sure that it's not dangerous for mankind. So I hope you understand. Is
Yes.
did I satisfy your query, Timsi?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's great.
Yeah, thank you, Shaili. And another question is coming from Mother. Yeah, Mother, you can ask. Yeah.
I have a query that why didn't we hear about the applications of artificial intelligence years back when it was first coined in 1956? Why has it taken so much time?
Right. So in 1956, it's firstly presented by John McCarthy, but then it also used in Second World War something called mycene. It is another knowledge based system which is used as a in medicine, but it was quiet because we were not having data. People were not using technology as vast as we are now. So every single person in household having mobiles, having their devices, using online shoppings, we are doing classes onto the computers. So this is data. We were not having that data, and these technologies are data driven. Now we are having data. Now we are having data. That's why this technology is growing, and we are understanding more and more about it, because we are having that sort of information. Where is the big data comes in picture. So we have got so much data available. We are playing with it, and that's why AI is there in this form. Yeah,
Right. Very true. Thank you, Shaili, for these answers.
that's okay.
Yeah, and I'm sure if we are keeping in mind the ethics which we should follow in the field of AI, we are on the verge of
Yes.
building a better world.
Exactly. I mean, it's again, ethics is something which is a vast subject in AI again, and which we need to understand when we are developing these techniques. That are they really dangerous, or are how much danger they can put? It's a responsibility of us. So once when the Facebook was developed, did anybody know that the like button can be dangerous, that somebody can think that people have done suicide? See, because if somebody has put a picture on Facebook and hasn't received enough likes about it, it can it can let that person into depression. But did we ever think of when the Facebook was developed? No. So this is our actions and how the society is taking that thing. That makes a difference. AI itself cannot do anything, but it's us. But what we're feeding to it.
Very
Yeah,
true.
you're right, Ritu, and I think that's one thing which we need to definitely address to our students and young generation, that every single thing come with the responsibility, especially within in this growing field of AI.
Yeah, our school has already conducted many webinars, many seminars on cyber safety and cyber security. So
Oh, that's good.
students are aware about the ethics, how they are being caught by the smart gadgets. Like
Ah,
if
okay.
gadgets are smart, so it means they are observing. Gadgets are observing our behavior, and accordingly we receive the messages.
Yeah. No, that's really good, because it's all very positively. I'm taking that you are and your team and the school itself is doing great with these kids, and especially in this age, like Timsi, she's so young and she knows so much about it. So it's amazing. Well done to you guys. You have done so well, and thank you for making me part of it.
Our pleasure, Shelley. Over to you, Sonia.
Thank you, Ritu. The session was really, really very interesting and informative.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Right. And it almost explored the various fields where I think AI can be used. It can be of much use. I think you have almost explored the various fields.
I try to sum up, because it's so vast and scope is so much in it. I try to sum up into one great form.
I was very very happy to see where the AI can be used in the medicinal field because you have taken
Yes.
various examples from there.
Yes, it is actually used widely into the field of medicine, and I my son is aspired to become a doctor, and I sometimes say you never know when you are going and he wants to become a surgeon. So if he you wants to become a surgeon, you maybe see robot's assistant assisting you doing your surgery. So you might not see anybody, just the robots with you in the operation theater. So AI is growing so vast into the medicine, and the way we are working towards it as a human being, whole all over the world. China is leading, of course, and we have United States, which is leading as well. And I think I can't even imagine that how next 20 years will be.
So, okay, thank you again, Shelley. Now, for the second
Thanks.
presentation, I invite Mayank Agarwal to enlighten the audience with the emerging technology of IoT. Mayank Agarwal, it's over to you now.
Thank you, ma'am. So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mayank Agarwal, and I am an IoT and embedded systems developer. And I'll be your IoT host for the next part of the webinar. So, let's start. So, let me share my screen. So, are you all able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am, you are presenting your screen.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. So, So, first of all, let us discuss what IoT is. What do we mean by Internet of Things? So, first of all, let's break it into parts. So, let's discuss what is Internet. Do we know the actual meaning of Internet or the actual definition of Internet, or is it something else? So, let me tell you the actual meaning of Internet is network. It refers to a network of devices or computers which can communicate with each other via wireless communication protocols or in a wired communication protocol. So this is the basic concept of internet, which refers to network. So now, what does things refer to? So what are the things? So basically, things can be any of our device or gadget, like our smartphone, our laptop, tablets, smartwatches, earphones, smart televisions that are connected in a network, that one or more things or smart devices are connected in a network and they have the ability to communicate with each other in a wireless manner. And the best feature of internet of things is that you can control a particular device or gadget with the help of another gadget or device present on the same network in a remote manner. So let me give you some of IoT examples so that you get more clear about IoT. So these are some of the examples of Internet of Things that we can see around us nowadays. So the first one is wireless earphones. Now many of you must be attending this webinar on by plugging your Bluetooth earphones or wireless earphones into your ears. So wireless earphones are a typical example of internet of things that we see nowadays. They are so much common that wireless earphones, like, how they are related to IoT. So basically, like, they are connected, our earphones are connected with our smartphone. So our smartphone is one type of gadget or one type of device, and our earphones is another type of gadget or another type of device. Now we know that they are connected with our smartphone via Bluetooth communication protocol. So that earphone and our smartphone are communicating with each other with the help of Bluetooth. So when we are listening to music on our earphones, on our Bluetooth earphones or wireless earphones, so the music is playing inside our smartphone, but that audio data or that musical data is getting transmitted by our phone to our earphone, and we can hear that music in our earplug with the help of Bluetooth. Similarly, when we are on a call and we have our wireless earphones on and we are talking with our earphones, so the mic present in the earphone transmits our voice data from earphone to our mobile phone, and then that voice data is further transmitted by our smartphone via GSM technology. So this is the first example of IoT. Now the second example which we see around us is fitness bands. So now most of you must be using fitness bands. So what fitness bands do? Basically, fitness band is a type of device or a gadget that we tie on our wrist, and that fitness band sends the data of how many calories we have burned in a day, or how many kilometers for we have walked on our smartphone, and then we can monitor that data on an app on our smartphone or at the end of the day. So this is also an example of Internet of Things, because one device, which is our smartphone, and another device, that is our fitness band, are in network with each other via Bluetooth or via any other wireless communication protocols. They are in network with each other and they are communicating with each other. By meaning of communicating with each other is that they can transfer data from one device to another, and they can receive data from another device also. Now the third example is smartwatches. Now we also use smartwatches, and you also know that whenever any call is received on our smartphone, it is received on the smartwatch as well, because our smartwatch, one gadget is connected with another gadget via Bluetooth. They are communicating with each other, and this is the bidirectional flow of data, which means that smartphone can send data to smartwatch, and smartwatch can send data to smartphone also. Like, this is the meaning of bidirectional flow of data. So, what if I say that our home is also an example of IoT ecosystem or IoT? So, basically, most of us have Wi Fi network installed in our home or Wi Fi router. So, with that Wi Fi router, we have connected our smartphone, we have connected our tablets, we have connected our laptop, we have connected our smart television, we have connected smart chatbots like Google Home or Amazon Alexa, we have connected smart lighting systems with that Wi-Fi router. So these devices are creating a network inside your home, which is known as an IoT ecosystem. What actually IoT is? That IoT, as I told you, that IoT is a network of devices or gadgets communicating with each other. So similarly, same thing is happening in our home also, where multiple devices are connected with internet or Wi-Fi, and they can share data in between them also, and they can share data with Wi-Fi router as well. So the next example of IoT is remote control appliances, like we control television or air conditioners with the help of remote. So in that case also, remote is one type of gadget or a device, and that AC or TV is another type of device. So that remote and that TV are can communicate with each other via infrared signals that are generated by the infrared transmitter attached on the remote. So this also forms an example of IoT, because that is what IoT is. When one or more when more than one devices are communicating with each other in any manner, whether it can be a wired way also, but in most of the applications in IoT, we use a wireless communication medium. So some of the industrial IoT products that are nowadays in the market are, so the first one is, you must have heard of MG Hector. MG Hector is a car launched by Morris Garages, and you must have seen this, the commercial of this car in the World Cup also. So MG Hector, what MG Hectors enables us is that you can install an app of MG Hector and log into that app, and then you will be able to turn on or turn off the ignition of that car, of your car, with the help of your smartphone. You can lock or unlock the car with the help of that app. You can also turn on the AC of your car with the help of your smartphone. Other than this, you can get the real-time monitoring of data, like how much fuel is present in the fuel tank of car, or how much pressure is there in the tire of the cars. All the data you can monitor on your smartphone via internet. So what it is, how it is happening, it is because of IoT. Now that car is connected with our smartphone in a wireless manner, and that car is sending the data via internet to our smartphone. You can control all these things via
In the you shown industrial IoT products. So
yes ma'am.
uh, after that, there was a like disruption in power. So broadcasting was not happening in YouTube, and hurriedly you can take up your slide after the industrial products.
Okay ma'am.
Yes, Mayank, you can start.
Okay ma'am.
Yeah.
Now let's create an IoT based project. So we'll be creating a remote controlled home automation system in which we will be able to control lights or the bulb with the help of remote in a wireless manner, just like we control AC or television with the help of remote. So we'll be controlling lights with the help of remote, or you can control fans and other appliances as well with this project. So working principle of this project is pretty simple. Like we send or press a button on our remote, and that remote control will have an infrared transmitter on its top. You must have seen that an infrared LED is present on the top of remote. That infrared LED or transmitter will generate or send infrared wave to the receiver unit. Here we have used receiver unit as TV, but in our project we will use receiver unit as lights. So this will be our project, like we will be controlling bulb or lights with the help of remote. So prerequisites for this project are like what you need to do, what you should know, what knowledge you should have to create this project. So you should know basics of C or C++ programming, because coding for this project will be done in C++ or C language. So you should be aware of you should know the syntax of these programming languages. You should know if else conditions, you should know switch case, you should know loops. Now the next prerequisite is object oriented programming. Like object oriented programming here means that you should know classes and objects. You should have knowledge of constructors, destructors, and various other things like polymorphism, inheritance, and you should know circuit designing so that you can design the hardware part of this project. So components required for this project are, so the first component and the most important component is Arduino microcontroller. So any any electronic gadget or any electronic device requires a processing unit or a CPU or a processor to perform the processing operation. It is not possible that any electronic gadget does not have a CPU or a processor. Every type of electronic gadget has got a CPU inside it which performs all the processing operation for that gadget. So this Arduino microcontroller will be going to act as our CPU of our project for this remote control home automation. And the next component, the most important component, is IR receiver. So this IR receiver will receive infrared signals generated, then convert those infrared software for this project. It's just an online website where you can go and you can create projects here virtually, which means there will be virtual components here, and you can use drag and drop those components with the mouse of your laptop, and you can use those virtual components to create IoT based projects or any other electron projects. You can do lot of experiments on this website. So all you need to do is just create an account on this website, which can be created by free of cost. You don't need to pay any sort of amount for this. So for that, like this, after you log in into your Tinkercad account, you have to click on circuits in the left corner of this dashboard, and you have to click on create new circuit. So you have to switch the components type from basic to all so that you can get all the components available on this website to create your electronic or IoT based project. So we have a lot of components here: resistor, capacitor, diode, and push button. We have a lot of sensors as well here: IR sensors, ultrasonic sensor of this circuit diagram. So basically this is the remote, which is obviously which with the help of which we will send signal to this bulb. So what we need to do is we need to add some circuitry between this bulb to make this bulb communicate with this remote. So we will add that circuitry or that hardware with this bulb. So for that, we will need this IR receiver or IR sensor. Whenever we'll press any button or on a remote, on our remote, like it will become a closed circuit, and this bulb will be turned on if Arduino will receive make our connections easier, which is a breadboard. Small breadboard will be enough for us. Okay, so we have got all the components with ourselves. So let's do some connections. So for at first I will connect this 5-volt pin of Arduino. I hope it is visible clearly. I'll connect this 5-volt pin of Arduino with plus pin of breadboard and ground pin of Arduino with ground pin of breadboard. So this will, with this step, a common 5-volt pin or a common 5-volt supply has been created at this line of breadboard, which means that whichever pin I will select from this line, whichever pin, everyone has got a 5-volt supply in it. Similarly, here also, all the pins in this line have got a ground signal or a 0-volt supply, which means I can use any pin over here to use ground signal. So which means these all pins are connected with each other, or they are shorted with each other. So now, so the first step is to give power to this IR sensor or to this IR receiver so that it starts working. So for that, I'll connect the power pin of this IR sensor with 5-volt pin of Arduino or with 5-volt pin of breadboard. So this is how it is done. And now I will connect the ground pin of IR receiver with the negative pin of breadboard or the ground signal. Now the third pin is an output pin, which means that this that electrical signal of this IR receiver will be generated through this output pin, and now I have to connect this output pin with Arduino board, and you can connect this output pin with any digital pin on the Arduino board. I'm connecting it with pin number 2. Pin number 2 over here. Just make sure that you cannot use this TX and this RX pin, these two pins. Except these pins, you can connect this output pin with any digital pin of Arduino from 13 pin to pin number 2. You can use any pin for this output signal. Now let's connect my relay with Arduino. So for that, I'll connect this terminal with 5-volt supply of breadboard or of Arduino, and this terminal will be connected to the ground. Okay, and this terminal okay, so just wait a minute, let me do connections in a bit clean way. So let me connect this terminal with the 5-volt of breadboard, and this pin will be connected to the ground pin of breadboard, and this pin will be connected with any digital pin of Arduino except that pin with which you have connected your IR receiver. So I am connecting this with pin number 3 of Arduino board. This Arduino will send signal to this relay with the help of this pin. This pin will send a high or a low signal to this relay, which means a 5-volt signal or a 0 signal to this relay, and according to that signal, this relay will perform the operation. So this is the circuit. So now let me connect my bulb with the circuit. So one terminal of bulb will be connected with the ground. As you can see, I have connected one terminal of the bulb with the ground, and another terminal of this bulb will be connected with this terminal of relay module, terminal number 7. So let me give you an explanation of how this relay module works. Okay, so whichever signal which we will apply on this terminal or on this terminal, that signal will flow. Like here, a circuit diagram is also made by the manufacturer of this relay. That signal will flow to this terminal whenever this terminal will get a just wait a minute. Okay, so whenever this pin will be low, which means whenever there is a 0 signal or a ground signal on this pin, on this terminal number 8, we will get whichever signal applied here or here as it is on this pin. Like we have applied 5-volt signal over here, so we will be giving, when we will give 0 signal or a low signal to this pin, that 5-volt signal will come onto this terminal, and with this it will go to bulb, and our bulb is already connected with the ground, so which means a potential difference is created across the bulb and our bulb will start glowing. So whenever I'll supply a high signal over here, so the signal applied, or 5, whether it is a 5-volt signal or a low signal, it will go as it is to this pin. So I hope it is clear. Now let's jump on to the programming part of this project. So there are some important terms which are required to do the which you should be familiar with to do programming for this project. First of all, we should know what a header file is. Basically, a header file is a file which contains definitions of all the functions or classes which we will be using in that program or code to perform processing. Secondly, a class. We should know what is a class. Basically, a class is a user defined data type, which means we can create this class according to our own requirement, which have its own data members as well as member functions to perform various operations, and those member functions and data members which are present inside the class can be accessed by creating an object or variable of that class. Like we create a variable of integer type, float type, double type, or character type. Similarly, we will have to create a variable of this class which is known as an object. Now the third one is constructor. Constructor is basically a member function present inside the class which automatically invokes whenever an object or variable of that class is created. So it is a special member function and it does not have a return type. It gets automatically, it gets wakened up whenever an object is of a class is created. Now the fourth one is structure. Structure is basically a collection of various different data types. Like with the help of integer data type, we can create only an integer variable. With the help of char data type, we can create only a character variable or a char variable. But with structure, we can merge or integrate or fuse those different data types into one variable, and can access those data types by creating an object or a variable of structure in a similar manner we create by in case of class. So this is the program of our project. So basically, first of all, I have included the header file hash include irremote.h, which contains necessary functions which will be required, which we are of this class, so that it can check that pin, that controller can check that pin and performs the processing operation. Now the third statement is decode underscore results. So this is basically decode underscore results is a structure with multiple data types inside it, and we have created a variable results of this structure which will store the final value of the received infrared signal or infrared radiation. So we have that the data will be traveling at a speed of 9600 bits per second. If you want a faster serial data transmission, then you can increase this baud rate to 115200 as well. You can also use baud rate of 57600. So this serial.begin statement initiates a serial communication between Arduino and laptop. So the next statement is pin mode 2 comma input. So with this wakening up of IR receiver, now now with this statement digital write 3 comma high, we are we are putting relay in its off state, which means the bulb will be in off state when this program will be executed for signal into results, and we are passing here and results as a this we are passing here address of this variable results as a parameter further more signals if user is giving some signal. So let's do this now. Let's copy this code into our Tinkercad. So for that, you have to click on code and switch this from blocks to text. Continue. Written here is you can clear this, and now you have to paste this code. So as you can see here, I have passed pin number as 2, which is the output pin of IR receiver, and pin number 3 as a pin with which relay has been connected with the Arduino. So now let's start the simulation. Okay, so simulation has successfully started. So let's open serial monitor, and whenever I'll press any button, like I'm pressing power button of remote, whenever I'll press power button, we'll get a signal in the form of a numerical value over here on the serial monitor. So we have got 16580,863. So one thing I want to tell you is that okay, so I have got the value. Okay, so I have to make some changes in the code. Here I have to make some changes. For that, I'll need to stop the simulation. So I am using if statement for that. So I'm using if statement for that. So if results dot value equals to, first let's copy the numerical value for button 1. It is 165829003. If this is the signal which the IR receiver has received, then what we have to do is we have to turn on the bulb. For that, we will have to give a low signal to relay module, which means 3, low. Now, let me add an else if state. Whenever I'll press the 0 button, that circuit gets break or it becomes on this terminal, so that when this be turned off, that bulb will be turned on, and when this bulb will be turned on, that bulb will be turned off. So let's do it this. So let's do it. For that, we need to stop simulation. We will need one more bulb. Let's take one more bulb.
Mayank, I think you have shown such a good project, and parents are pitching in for some questions, and
Okay, ma'am.
and I will ask Sonia to take up the questions round.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, so let me wind up by just let me tell you some of the industrial applications of this project which I have created on Tinkercad. Many companies or many industry or she hacks the codes of the project, which code is for which button is using for which purpose. Then also he or she will not be able to control our system unless and until he or she enters our house. So that is why this system is pretty much secure in terms of cyber security.
Okay, thank you, Mayank, for answering these questions. Now, over to Ritu. You can assimilate the contents of the two presentations. Ritu?
Yeah, I think you all can hear me.
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, I had some technical glitch at my end, and but technology can help us. Technology can put us in some difficult situation. So we have to be little faster to conclude this session, and we have attended this amazing session on AI and IoT. We all can agree that these two technologies are not separate, but their combination is what helps in successful implementation of a job. So if we combine AI with IoT, it becomes AIoT, artificial
Yes.
intelligence of things.
Yes, ma'am.
And if we consider AIoT, I would like to quote one example: autonomous delivery robots, which are very common. Some countries are using such type of robots, wherein robots have sensors that gather information about the environment when the robot is traversing, thus implementing the concept of IoT. Yeah, and then it makes time to moment decisions on how to respond through its flight and implementing the concept of AI. So we had a wonderful session, and now I would like to invite Ma'am Principal to thank our learned and informed speakers and also encourage the ATL team with her inspiring words. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ritu, and thank you, Sonia. Thank you, Shailesh, and thank you, Mayank. Thank you, Shruti. Thank you, Suruchi.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Nakshi. This was a long, long session, but then it was full of so much of information. Very, very impressive. If everybody is looking tired. Even Shelly is looking tired now. So no wonder. But then, in spite of we all of us being so tired, this session was so good that it caught even our attention. We who are non-technologic people, not tech savvy, very tech savvy people. We can't say we are not tech savvy any longer because the lockdown made us tech savvy to ensure that everybody learn technology like anything. So, but then you people are, it's your subject, so no wonder. But you presented it so well in such simple form. In fact, Shelly's idea of those simple diagrams which she had made set me thinking that anybody who presents a PPT, if they can make such kind of diagrams, learning would become so simple and so interesting because everybody is a kid at heart. So they want to be taught everything in a very, very precise, simple, and enjoyable manner. So I really liked your method and the information that you gave. Artificial intelligence is going to be there always. But the way it is helping, like Sonia was saying, she was impressed by the medical part because she's a biology teacher. So therefore, automatically she got attracted by it. And every teacher who's attached today in this webinar must have correlated how they can use AI in their day-to-day lives in future. And Mayank, your session was also extremely informative. Like we are using everything, but we don't think that it's IoT. And then you went a step ahead to explain to us all the details. In fact, I would say Suruchi is also here and Meenakshi is also here. Both of them have been working really hard. Suruchi is a Corona warrior. She's just recovered from Corona.
Thank you so much for your concern, ma'am.
Thank you,
But
ma'am.
yeah,
Thank you
thank
for
you.
providing this wonderful opportunity to
Well,
me.
all of you gave this ATL webinar a particular standard. You know, they say that you have set this bar high. So we actually set the bar high with this webinar. So thank you so much, everybody, for a wonderful session. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for the
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ritu, for all the effort. Thank you, Sonia, for all the effort.
Oh, thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Shaili.
you.
It was an excellent session, and thanks for giving us insight into AI. We just loved
No,
it.
no, thank you so much for bringing me to this platform. Actually, if you need anything else in future related to AI, you wanted some materials, you wanted to start up with something, as I can help, I will try to help you out because I think this is something really good initiative taken by the school itself. As just now, this is coming into my mind one thing that Ben has just mentioned about IoT and I mentioned about AI. The combination of these two is actually using in home a lot, and that's like my Hoover. You know, my automatic Hoover robber. It is just a great combination of both technology because it has got the feature of the environment learning, and all I need to do, I need to map it and just press the button and it's in all area for me and house for me, just mapping it. So these simple things we can always use into our curriculum, which is great.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right. And
exactly.
actually, I have asked all
Thank
my
you.
bio students, I have asked all my bio students to attend this webinar.
Oh, thank you. Sonia. I think this is a wonderful place, anyway, for the students of this age. If they are developing this, I'm teaching this to my children as well. But I really appreciate the efforts you guys have taken, and I was telling international universities as well that this is something going on. So in future, if anybody wants else to join, they probably will. So which is great.
Okay.
Well done to you, all of
In
you.
fact, Ritu and Sonia and Meenakshi and Suruchi, we need also to thank our two students who have made this website.
Yes, ma'am.
Right, this
Well done.
website has come up very well, and normally even the experts take so long to build a website. So Yagik and Shubham,
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
both
ma'am.
of you, many congratulations. This is your
Yes,
first
from
step,
all of us.
and,
Yes.
and you can actually advertise, sell yourself on this. That you made a website when you were so young,
Mm.
right?
Thank you, ma'am.
Shelley would be knowing to get entrance into these colleges all across the world. These kind of ventures really help.
Yes, they
Yes,
do because you need to build your profile towards it. That in this age you have done this. So if your profile is there somewhere like LinkedIn or something, in future whenever you're doing some courses related to these applications, what will happen is when you are doing your projects, you will be get in touch with employers and they will see that how much work you have already done. So they will definitely want to take you rather than like a campus interview kind of thing. They take you before anybody else. So, this is something you need to keep it.
right.
Thank you,
Smile,
ma'am.
do it same for me. I'll implement your
Yes.
feedback.
No, you're taking a webinar in itself counts a lot for your
Yes,
profile.
ma'am, definitely. It's
Yes.
an honor for me that you and Ritu ma'am and all the teachers of mine जिन्होंने मुझे एक्चुअली सुरुचि मैम ने मुझे 9th 10th में रोबोटिक्स पढ़ाया था और मैं
Very
उनके
nice.
क्लब में था तो मतलब आपके साथ ही आप लोगों ने मुझे इतना समझा कि आई कैन एजुकेट स्टूडेंट्स तो इट्स एन ऑनर फॉर मी आल्सो
I am actually overwhelmed because when I saw you, I just remembered that only when you were in class 9th and 10th and how nicely you used to do.
यस मैम
Great. Very happy and proud for you. Thank you so much for taking this wonderful session
थैंक यू
and
मैम
all the best for future.
Okay, as we have learned a lot today, and considering the time constraint, we have to stop somewhere. We are sure you all must have enjoyed the session, and we are looking forward to having valuable feedback from our audience. Feedback form link is given in the YouTube live chat. Feel free to fill it and let's know your subject of interest, which will help us to organize such educational webinar in future. We will be uploading the presentations of our key speakers on our ATL website. You can find the website link in the live chat. If you have any query related to South Wales University AI courses, drop us a message at our email address, which is again given in the live chat. We will forward your queries to Shelly ma'am. Last but not the least, I would like to thank our dynamic principal, Mrs. Reena Rajpal, who has shown the vision of this webinar. Now I request all the members present here in the meet to switch on their cameras and let the world know that we are one. Thank you so much once again. Stay safe and stay tuned to our YouTube channel for more educational videos. And it's time to shout out loud.
Advantech.
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 एडवांटेज
See, I'm sitting in my courtyard. With my class. I have no other alternative left because I can get my signals only
So
outside.
you're enjoying and you're conducting the session. Great. Thank you once again, Shelly. It was a wonderful
Well
session.
done to all of you. Thank you so much for making me part of this wonderful session. It is always nice to see and talk to our own people. Always
Yeah.
I am in sessions where I have other people, but here I can see. I feel so excited whenever I do anything like that with my own country. It's wonderful to see that the way you are using technology